boys and girls, today in math we're going to talk about adding, or we can call it putting them all together, and we're going to do word problems kind of like we did last week too, but they're actually on our sheet, so we're going to do them together, and then I'm going to give you a little challenge as well, okay? Now, remember when we talk about word problems, it's a story about something, and then we're going to use math to solve it, right? So our big word of the day, and big word of the day that was yesterday, is all together. So what does it mean when it's all together? It means that we're going to be using our symbol in math that looks like this, right? It's our adding symbol. Now, you don't have to write that today, but you can show your work and write that if you would like to, okay? So I'm looking at lesson practice 122. So 122. So would you grab your pencil, and maybe you're going to need some crayons or some markers today. In math, you can choose what you want to draw with or what you have next to you, or you can pause me and go get something. But I'm going to use my markers and my whiteboard, okay? So you have a box next to A. So we're going to do a word problem together. Okay, the one that is labeled A. And you have a box that looks just like this, okay? And it says, Nina has 4 red candies and 1 yellow candy. Draw the candies. How many candies does Nina have all together? So what does all together mean? Say it with me. Adding, right? So it means that we're going to add the numbers together, okay? So I want you to draw in that box on your paper, I want you to draw 4 candies. Now, she didn't say what kind of candies they were, so if you want to, you can draw suckers. If you want to, you can draw gumballs. I'm just going to draw circles for pieces of chocolate, okay? So I'm just going to draw circles. So I'm drawing 4 red candies. They're dark chocolate. And I'm going to draw 1 yellow candy. Now, I don't have a yellow, so I'm going to use a purple so you guys can see it, okay? So, I have 1 yellow candy. Give you a time to draw that, okay? And when you're done, your square should look like mine, right? So I have 4 red candies over here, and I have 1 yellow candy over here. Now, if you want to draw in different colors so you could see it, that's okay with me too, because that's what I did, okay? Now, we talked about last week, there's a few options of adding. You can count it like this, and you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, right? Or you can know there's 4 over here. You can do it on your fingers. There's 4 over here, and there's 1 over here. And if I were to put them together, now you can count your fingers. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So it gets us the same number. Now, if you wanted to, you could also write what you're trying to tell them, right? So you can try to tell them that you're doing 4 plus 1 equals 5. Now that's a challenge. You don't have to do that part, but you can if you want to, because you have 4 red candies plus 1 equals 5. So at the bottom, or at the top, bottom line of that A, it says how many candies does Nina have all together? So you would write 5 next to that, okay? Now, boys and girls, I want you to do the same thing for B and C, okay? Now, Miss Gish is going to just read them to you in case you don't have someone at home that wants to read them to you, or you don't want to stretch out the words for math, okay? I do suggest you to stretch out the words for math, okay? But if you don't want to, I will read them for you. Are you ready? So, B, it says, Tyler has 2 red squares and 3 blue squares. Draw the squares in the box. So you can pause me if you want to draw it, or you can just keep listening. Then it says, how many squares does Tyler have all together? So he has 2 red squares and 3 blue squares. How many does he have all together? okay? I want you to show your work, though. You can't just write the number, okay? That's the thing about word problems. We have to show our work, because if someone else looks at your work, like Mrs. Dykes or Mrs. Johnson or myself, Miss Gish, I have to be able to see what you were thinking, right? Because I don't know what you're thinking if I'm not sitting next to you, right? Or talking it through with you. So you have to show your work, okay? Now C, I'm not going to give you the answer for B. So now C, it shows Alyssa has 3 green balloons, 1 blue balloon, and let's see if I can do this, and 2 yellow balloons. So these are my 2 yellow, this is my 1 blue, and this is my 3 green. How many balloons does she have all together? So I want you to draw it out. I want you to draw 3 green balloons, 1 blue, and 2 yellow. And I want you to tell me what you get all together. Now, boys and girls, this may be one where you have to draw them out in groups, kind of like that, to separate them, and then you have to count them. That's okay, because sometimes when it gets too hard or there's too many numbers, you can't do it all on your fingers because you just get confused, okay? So I want you to try that one out and tell me how many balloons she has all together, okay? All right, you got this, boys and girls, okay? Have fun adding. See you later.